If I had to end this video with one line, it would be this: stop trying to find happiness. When you try to find happiness, all you're doing is focusing on the lack of it. You are starting to believe that happiness is something that needs to be found, that is lost, which couldn't be farther from the truth, because happiness is just a state of mind. So really, what makes your day and your life happy or not is the conscious choice you choose to make every single moment. If I'm single, I can be sad because I have no one, all my friends are dating, or I can be happy because I have limited time with myself, and right now all my time, money, energy is for me alone. I don't have to share it with anybody. Reality is an illusion. Your perspective can make or break you. That's why there are people who thrive in adversity, and there are others who just simply break. How does the same situation really end up being a maker for one and a breaker for other?
But how can you be happy when everything is falling apart?
Simple. You realize that life is a bed of roses, but every rose also has a thorn. Wow. That's so smart. You can have a wonderful life, a charming personality, but you will still have to go through your own set of struggles. And chances are that those struggles are what ended up making your personality what it is today. People who thrive in adversities, they acknowledge this fact. They're aware that hardships exist to really remind you that, dude, you're getting comfortable. This is not your limit. You can go beyond. You deserve a better life. You need to work on your limiting beliefs, a lot of things. It's just your friend that is really mean sometimes, but their intentions are always to make you live a better life. And that's why these people, they buckle up their seats, they get ready to face the struggles, and they emerge victorious. They come out an upgraded version of themselves. And then there's the other group. They avoid reality and they pretend like they're the victims in their reality that they themselves created. To understand further what makes you happy, we need to understand what makes you unhappy. And I bet it's a lot of things, but let's take a look at a few of the most common reasons. First is comparison. Yes, we've all heard comparison is the thief of joy, but when has knowing ever stopped us? So here's how to find happiness in comparison. Be in their shoes. It's a well-known fact that grass is always greener on the other side, and that life is a series of problems that needs to be solved. So even if the problem looks better on that side, remember that is still a problem. Someone who's earning way more than you has way more stress than you. They have longer working hours than you. Someone who's in a relationship has to take care of one more person than you do. The other way, however, and the more recommended way of doing this, is by practicing gratitude. Instead of looking at their grass, you simply take a look at yours. You start to realize that you have a grass. You start to realize you have the resources to water that grass. You have people who want to play in the grass with you. Gratitude is the most effective medicine for comparison. In fact, research has actually shown that people who practice even 5 minutes of gratitude every single morning have higher levels of happiness than those who don't. Next is control. You are far more likely to be happy in life if you feel like you have control over your life, over your time, over your resources. However, a lot of us do not have that. We are working for someone else, and that can cause a lot of unhappiness. So what's the cure? Have allotted activities in your schedule that don't demand a lot of time, but they're still there for you, and you have set them up for yourself. That will help you get a little bit control over your time back. That means having a non-negotiable solo date, having at least 30 minutes to work out every day, or simply taking some time out to practice a hobby. This can bring some time back to you. You most likely end up watching Netflix on your sofa anyway, but instead just get ready and go to a movie theater to watch the same movie. Even though the core action is the same, you're just watching a movie, but the action of taking some time out, getting ready for it, putting efforts into yourself helps you feel like you have a lot more control over your life. If you want to take it a step further, and if you really want to cut the problem from its very core, you need to start saving. Save so you can leave your job in a year or two, and in the meantime, try out some side hustles, experiment with them. This way you can smoothly transition into a new life where you're your own boss. You might have to work longer hours initially, but you aren't being forced to do that. And because of that, you end up feeling more satisfied and happier overall, even though you're technically working even more. Third is doing things that align with your values. This is often neglected, but if you do things that you don't agree with, that don't feel right to you, in the long run, you will end up feeling much unhappier and guilty and just a lot of bad things that you don't want to feel. So it's a good idea to check in with yourself once a week or even more if you can, to do some back and forth questioning with yourself to see where you stand, if you're doing anything that you don't agree with, if you're doing anything that doesn't align with your values, that doesn't align with who you see yourself as a person. You can start with noting down all the events that took place since you started feeling unhappy, and then you can figure out which of those events actually is the culprit and why. It doesn't even have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as, I acted friendly with this person even though I don't like them since I found out they talk behind my back, and now because of my people pleasing, I'm just being nice to them even though I don't even want to talk to them. So now you know people pleasing and acting fake with people, acting like they're friends when they're not, is something that you're not as a person. That's something that doesn't align with you. And every time you will do something like that, you will feel low, you will feel off. So now you can actually work on that. You can work on your people pleasing tendencies. It's important to know that happiness is a state of mind, which means you can train it. It is honestly not practical to be happy all the time, and that's not what I'm asking you to do here. However, you can aim for an overall happier life, for a better quality of life. You can be content and grateful, which leads to a more optimistic view of life even when you're not necessarily happy. If I lose my friend that was talking behind my back, I am not happy with the situation. I'm not happy that I lost someone that meant so much to me for such a long time. But at the same time, I'm grateful that I got to find out her true colors. I'm grateful that I have the connection with myself, that I can deal with this, that I have people I can talk to about this. I am not happy, but I'm still optimistic. I am still positive about the situation, which helps me deal with this low moment in a much healthier way, and that leads to a happier life overall. That should be a goal. That the happiness curve throughout your life is going on the right and it's rising, even if the middle parts are bumpy ups and downs. That's normal, that's life. Because like I said, if you sit down and you start wondering why you're never happy and you start finding happiness, all you're doing is focusing on the lack of it, and you're affirming that there's no happiness in your life. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope this video made you feel more positive and more in control of your own life, of your own happiness. Remember, you are the main character of your life, so please start acting like her. Stop being a victim to your own created reality. That's just not the vibe. See every struggle as a moment for character development, and know that you will come out a winner in the end because you are the main character. You are invincible. Thank you so much for watching it till the very end, and I will see you next week. Bye!